All right, guys, we're about to get this started. I'm looking up some scores tonight. This is Chris Brooks, and this is, I don't know what I want to call this. We did these back in the day with Jake Wimberly, and we called these, the Haroscope. I think that's what we did. I can't remember. But we did these post game shows, and I'm just wanting to go through a couple of the scores, and I'm trying out some new software tonight for the show. So, look, do me a favor. Supposedly, I'm looking at my screen here, and I'm going to go on X here real quick. So, yeah, bear with me on some of these things. I'm actually going to be testing it myself, and you just gotta, deal with it. If for some reason you get some audio from me from my computer, just shoot me a message. If you reply on X or if you reply on Facebook, they're supposed to drop in here on my screen. Now that might not be the case. And I don't know why I keep looking at that light up there for some reason instead of looking at the camera lens. That's such a rookie move. That's a terrible move. But I'm going through some of the scores from the night, and I just watched the end of the MRA Hartfield game. That was a great game. I know Brandon won big tonight, and for some reason I'm still not seeing anything showing up in my comment section for some reason. But that's fine. That's fine. Let's see what I'm looking at here. See, all of a sudden now I'm getting friends texting me pictures. I don't need pictures of my face, man. That's my buddy Jared. Why would you do that? Jared, why would you do that, man? You're trying to embarrass me. And yeah, Destin. Hey, look, don't talk bad about the Tyson fight. That's up there. Hey, see if I turn this on, if you can hear it. And yeah, this is going to be a little bit ad lib tonight. So just this is the way we're going to do this. If that's too loud for somebody, all you got to do is tell me, man, and we can fix that. And I can turn that down. But we're going to watch the Tyson fight here in just a minute, and I'm going to roll through some scores. And I'm tweeting, so bear with me again here. If you have a top performer for the night, I would like that to just go through the comments, and that's kind of a way of doing some nominations here. I know my buddy Jared is traveling. He was out at I know where you were tonight, Jared, out at the prep game. Prep beat Jackson Academy big. Bear with me just for a second. Hartfield pulls out a 17-14 game over MRA. I saw that early. And man, that's a great atmosphere. Every time I go out there for that, MRA does such a good job with their Jumbotron, the music, the lights. They have the LEDs and all of that. And like it's big time atmosphere. But I did Jake's show this week, Jake Wimberly, and I told him I was thinking about doing this, and he kind of talked me into doing one more for tonight because I hadn't done one of these in a bit. So anyway, we're going to try this tonight. You should be able to see messages when they come through. Now, the old school, if you remember the old school Twitter, when we would do this, man, you immediately get notified that somebody's live streaming, and then you have the comments that are filtering through quickly. This is going to be a little bit different, but we're going to see how it goes. Plus, the way I have it set up here, okay, like Destin sends me a text or sends me a tweet rather. I have these set up to where they're just going to show up, and I don't know what I'm going to get there. So what I don't know how I can screen these suckers, but that doesn't matter. All right, but look, I want to give you a couple of scores tonight, just a couple of thoughts on some of these games. Will Chandler, my man. I could do a show on Will Chandler if I really wanted to. Got me started in this, man. Way back when, long time ago, was an SID and was my boss as I was a GA. Will appreciate you. Now he's big time. I see him on the sidelines on occasion at junior college games. It would have been a better idea if I wrote these scores down before I got on here instead of just scrolling through some of these. But just give me a minute. Will, how you doing? And hey, are any chance you're doing the game? I don't know why I keep talking to the screen here. Wouldn't it make more sense if I talked to the camera lens up there? That'd make a lot more sense. Plus, I have dry mouth. What am I doing? Not my best. And look, I had a backdrop. I started to do a green screen with this. I had a beach backdrop I was going to roll out there. It would have been big time. Probably wouldn't have worked with the attire here, but we almost did. Park Lane 17-10 over Kapaya. Okay, some of these scores and some of the big games for tonight. Will, did you work that game? The Baldwin Faulkner? I'm just curious. Yeah, I had Baldwin 49-14. I got to tweet this out here in just a minute. So y'all going to have to just live with that too. I'm learning a few new things here. Okay, there we go. Oh, this thing is live. Is it me or does the camera put on 10 pounds? Now I'm looking at myself and I'm self-conscious about this. I don't know how this is going to work. Let me tweet this real quick and then I'll get to some of these scores. Sorry, 49-13. That was Baldwin over Faulkner. I just need to let people know you can drop top performers in the comments here. No Ole Miss or Mississippi State tomorrow. I will be at the junior college state championship game tomorrow, the MACCC championship with East Central and Northwest. Tomorrow at 2:00. East Central's had a great year. Both of them's had a great year. But for EC, they kind of jumped up there this year from where they have been. Had a great year. Get to see a couple of kids that I've followed since, gosh, they're probably in middle school. Okay, I just sent that out. Okay, let me go to a couple of these scores. Just some thoughts real quick. We're not going to do this all night because Tyson's coming up, and there's no way we're going to do this when Mike Tyson's on my television. Louisville's 58-7 winners in their playoff game tonight. I can't imagine anybody's going to challenge them. I just can't see it. Tupelo wins big 48-7. Look, Tupelo has rolled over opponents all year long. Let's see what else I have here. I'm sorry I'm having to answer some of these texts. Why am I getting so many texts in here all of a sudden? They have rolled over people all year. If you haven't seen Tupelo play this year, and I keep talking to myself, you know what? Whenever I'm talking, I'm looking at myself. Why would I be talking to myself? That doesn't make any sense. But Tupelo has worn people out. They're going to be a lot to handle in 7A. Next week, look, I might do this again tomorrow. I've got a green screen back here I could set up if I wanted. And technically, with a green screen, I can be live anywhere I want to be. Like, it could be anywhere. All right, give me a minute. Tammy, about to give you some scores here. I'm going to roll through some. I mean, these games are just now ending up. Let's see what we have. Scores from tonight. I know Brandon won big. Just give me a second. I have these saved here somewhere. Madison Central ends up getting a big win over DeSoto Central. You knew that was coming, 42-14. So they move on. So that's Brandon and Madison Central from the metro area moving on. And these are going to be kind of all over the place. Quitman gets a win over Forest County AHS. That was 55-21. If you haven't had a chance to see a Kylan Deere, you need to get out and see him. Big time running back. I can't remember where Kylan is committed to, but I'm looking forward to, if I don't get to see him in person, getting to see him in the Mississippi-Alabama All-Star game. Score from, got this in from Jake. Appreciate you doing that, man. Now, RJ, thanks, man. Tri-County 21-7. Tri-County still undefeated this year. Good luck beating that team. I've had a chance to see them early in the season, and they were one of these favorites start to finish. And they're going to be a lot to handle, like without a doubt. Trying to go back-to-back this year, MAIS 4A champs. Brandon won big over D'Iberville. That was 43-28. As I'm going through these scores too, I'll give you a little bit of kind of what I think is going to happen here. In 7A, Tupelo's your favorite, but Brandon, Madison Central right there. Madison Central had a chance to beat Tupelo on the road a couple of weeks ago. Tupelo pulled it out late, but that was a great game. Could have gone either way. So those two, I think, are right behind Tupelo, but I don't think they're far. Brandon is really good. I would not be shocked if they're able to do it this year. Northwest Rankin goes on the road, and they lost to Ocean Springs. I believe that final was 24-17. As I'm going through some of these, I know where I can get all this. I would have normally been a little more. No, I don't want to lie and tell y'all I would have been normally more prepared to do this. That's not the case. This was like just a last minute spur. You should, Dustin. I could have told you if I was going to give a heads up to anybody, it should have been my boy Dustin. That's my bad, man. Like for real, that's a bad friend move. Let's see what I have here. Neshoba Central beat Lake Cormorant 28-22. East Webster 34-16. All right, in your 4A playoffs, it goes like West Lauderdale over Houston. That was a 25-7 score. West Lauderdale has a quarterback named Caden Peoples. He ran for 3 touchdowns tonight. Big time athlete, but like kick and rake on a baseball field, can really swing it. Had a chance to play at West Lauderdale. And this is really rambling. But if you haven't been to West Lauderdale's baseball facility, that's big time. A lot of history there. A lot of talent have come through there. Chip, what's going on, dude? Hope everything is good in your world. Happy for you and Hannah Joe, man. That's big time. If y'all don't know, Chip's daughter's going to Mississippi State. She is a stud softball player. She might, if there's somebody out there who can play football, she could be one. Like she's a heck of an athlete, big time. Seminary beats West Marion 21-7. This is going to be all over the place. Not real happy with this. Mize at Lloyd Star. Lloyd Star wins at 38-32. Lloyd Star has a kid that y'all need to follow. I'm trying to remember the kid's name. Dang it, like he's young. We're talking 10th grade here. And look, if y'all have any comments for this, I treat this kind of like I did radio. When these are bad, it's really easy to blame it on the people that are texting and tweeting. So if it's bad, it's the fault of, see if I can put my hand here. This right here, let's go this way. Hold on. These comments right here, it would be the fault of that if this is not good. If you do a radio show and it's not good, it's because the text line didn't work very well because the texts weren't very good. Again, that's a you problem. Like you messed it up. So if you have any top performers or anything like that, put in the comments. But we're not going to do this long. Maybe about 10, 15 minutes. I've got an eye on the Tyson Jake Paul thing. We're not going to miss that. Hopefully I can get to all of these before we get off. Macomb wins over Northeast Jones. That's 42-9. Shannon 29-20 over Kosciuszko. Brookhaven won big. I'm not shocked at that. 42-21. That's kind of par for the course. Let's see if I can kind of pack some of these together so I'm not just all over the place with them. Brandon will have all of these up a little bit later tonight. We'll have that on the website. South Panola beat Ridgeland, but how about this? 34-27. That's a heck of a job, Todd McDaniel, the coach over there at Ridgeland, because South Panola is stacked this year, man. They're very good. Any of you that were at the Brandon game or the Madison Central game in particular, if you know of anybody that showed out, let me know so I can get to work on some of that for next week. Stone knocked out Florence 17-14. And nothing against Stone, but I hate that for my guys out at Florence. They had a very good year. A couple of more of these. Here's some 3A scores. Rosa Fort beat Boonville 22-0. Gave you West Lauderdale. Cleveland Central. Cleveland Central has a big time quarterback. His name's Bowman. Yeah, Scott. Hey, Tyson Robinson, if you guys haven't had a chance to get out and see him yet at Brandon, 10th grade running back, that's been offered by everybody and their mama at this point. Like for a 10th grade kid, physically, he's unbelievable. Like you would think that kid's a senior. They have a 9th grade linebacker too, and I can't remember the kid's name, but he's a stud. Yeah, Northwest Rankin goes down 24-17. That's a game they won on the road early this year. Northwest Rankin went down to Ocean Springs in the second or third week of the season and won it. And they had a chance late in this one and got picked off at the end of, and I think in the last minute and a half, that kind of sealed it. Told you about Tri-County. Jackson Prep won big. Hartfield goes to MRA and they get a big win. And that's a huge win for Hartfield because they lost that game at MRA earlier this year. See what else I have here. Jay Johnson. Okay, let's see what we got here. 4 touchdowns, ran for one, probably close to 300 through the air. Madison Central. He's had a big year. You know, he's a kid that was he was a defensive back early in his career, and he was both, I guess. He was always both. And then started quarterback, solely quarterback. And the last 2 years, he's put up big numbers. He's a very good player. And on a high school level, especially, I like it when you have those kids that can run around and make plays, especially when you get in the playoffs. Because you can count on that. You're always going to have bad games throwing the football, but you can count on a kid that can run it. Not shocked that Madison Central did that, though, because they've had a heck of a year, and Toby Collins Toby's one of the best coaches in the state. A couple more here before I get out, and we're not going to do this long because I have an eye over here on the Tyson game. We can't miss the Tyson game or the Tyson boxing match. Why am I getting so many texts here? We'll get to these here in a little bit. Okay, what else do I have? A couple more. And really, I'm doing this tonight as mainly a test run. I need to go back and see how all this stuff worked. And if it did work, then I'll start using a little more. But you notice we didn't do any intro music. We didn't do any of that. The advertising stuff. Look, if it wasn't for Soundcom, Capital, Country Pleasing, I wouldn't be doing this as it is. So appreciate them with Country Pleasing too. You guys know Henry Cooper down at Country Meat Packers. Henry's a good friend and awesome guy and does a lot for not just high school sports, college sports. I mean, you see this stuff all over the place. I know Matt does a lot with Henry, Matt Wyatt. Malone Roofing Services. You guys might not know this. Roman Malone back in the day was a teammate of mine at Colin. Hey, he's feisty, man. He's a good second baseman, but awesome person. And then the Rogue, if you guys don't know Luke Abney, Luke's kid was player of the year at Belhaven last year in baseball, and awesome guy. But also do a lot with Luke at the Rogue. He's one of my very good friends. So you got the holidays coming up. Go out and check out Luke at the Rogue. Go get you some nice clothes. And then with Capital, I've done stuff with them forever. I wouldn't, if it wasn't for Capital and Soundcom, I wouldn't be doing this now. With Soundcom, I don't know if you guys know Keith Lofton, but Keith's son, Bryce, is the punter at Southern Miss. And is second right now in the Sun Belt in punting. He's had a great year from Pisgah. Great kids, had a great year. Let me see what else we have here. Any more scores? If I see anything that I just want to knock out. Speaking of knockout, I mean, I'm looking at Tyson. There's a way I can throw what's on this screen over here that I'm looking at and put it on my screen over here. But I just haven't checked all of this yet. But Mike Tyson looks like he's ready to kill somebody. Then he just kissed that guy on the ear. I don't know what that was. Okay. They just did a back. What was that all about? Whatever I'm looking at with Tyson here, this is not even the TV live one, but where's his pants? I don't know what I'm looking at. A tweet from Barstool. Where's the man's pants? That's a problem for me. Let's see what else I have. Any more scores I want to get to? I have some basketball stuff that's scrolling through here, but I'm not going to get to all of that. No Ole Miss tomorrow. No Mississippi State tomorrow. Southern Miss is playing. They're at Texas State. Starkville wins over Horn Lake. That's 44-14. Destin, I believe that. I believe that. I don't know what that was, man. Why'd Barstool tweet that? That was a problem. That's a problem for me. I can't unsee that. All right, I think that's all we're going to do tonight. I don't have all the scores, but that's all I have right now. But if it wasn't for Tyson, I mean, we can't miss that. But it doesn't look like they're getting ready to fight yet. Looks like I don't even know which one. Do we have a women's fight before the Tyson fight? Is this going to be one of those things where Tyson fights at midnight and we all sit here and we watch this stuff all night long thinking it's going to be at 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and it's going to be 12, 1 in the morning? That's not good. This from Ryan. Yeah, can we start naming man, you know how I get so many questions about the offensive lineman in the team of the week stuff. And, I used to do that. We did the team of the week with offensive linemen, but it was so hard to get the offensive lineman nominations in. I mean, every year was difficult. That's why we stopped doing the offensive linemen, because I couldn't get off all of their names. And what would end up happening, let's say like with Pearl, if I had named the Pearl offensive lineman, hey, that's the offensive line of the week, and then named the 5 guys, like almost every other week I named it wrong somehow. The number on the roster was wrong. What was ever on Max Prep was wrong. And that's a problem for me. Who won the West Jones game? Why am I having a hard time getting some of these scores tonight? I still don't understand this Mike Tyson Barstool tweet. That's bothering me. All right, I knew my boy, I knew he'd come through for me. George County beat West Jones tonight. How about that? 26-22. Carla Danger, how are you doing? The only reason I did a radio this week is just to see if I was going to get a text from you, and I appreciated it. Made me feel good about myself. Deuce Knight and George County goes into West Jones tonight and picks up a win over the defending 6A state champs, 26-22. That's a big time. That's a big time win for George County. Destin, Jake keeps trying to get me to do that radio show again. I don't know, man. I'm still looking at this Tyson thing. That's still bothering me. I don't understand. Yeah, thanks, Ryan. The if I had more coaches that would send me the offensive line, I feel bad about the offensive linemen. I mean, nobody loves offensive linemen. These are big guys. Coaches are trying to make them bigger. They're not worried about how they're going to, these big guys. I mean, they got to get girlfriends, and coach is not worried about that. Just making them big. And then they don't send me stuff whenever I need it for the offensive lineman of the week. That's a problem too. So yeah, we ended up cutting it out just for that. It was difficult to put it together. Okay, I think that's going to be all I got tonight. All right, let's do this. I'm about to get out of here. For one, I don't even know how to use all this stuff that I'm playing with tonight, but I needed a test run for it. And that's about 30 minutes of test run. Break this down, take a look at it, see how to get rid of the 10 pounds that the camera put on me. I'm not that big. I don't know where that came from. That's obviously an issue with the camera lens. See if I can get the lens calibrated correctly. We might need to go up a little higher. It's always better if you're looking down on the subject, and it kind of tightens the jawline and corrects all that. I could also take the comments out, but I can't. I don't want to do this. See, nobody wants that. Then it's just me, and nobody wants that. I mean, you want the overlay. But I do like how this works. I didn't publicize this or didn't want to do any of that tonight because I didn't want a ton of people. I'm already surprised how many people are watching this. How in the world we already had 800 views just on Twitter? If you're one of the 719 people that have watched this, well, I mean, what are you doing with your Friday night? I'm a little worried. I am. You didn't know what you were going to get when you clicked on this. I'm doing a test run here, and that's good. If we got that much interest, we'll start doing more of it. Oh man, that's what I need. You need to text my wife with, "You look great. This angle works." Let Jennifer know that. She doesn't give me a whole lot of positive reinforcement because she says I don't need any more. But men need that. Like it, we do. We need that. She says that I'm already have too much of it. That's a problem. Okay, so Tyson's still not on. Okay, we're good. We're good there. So I might do this for a couple of minutes. Couple minutes more. The camera's definitely going to go up a little bit next time. Maybe a little bit less light. Maybe a hat. I'm considering putting a hat on this. I might trim the beard down a little bit. You know, everything's on the table basically. Tell you what would make good streaming. My wife's out there. I told her that we had to clean the house because there was the potential that I would start walking around the house with the camera, and she made me scared that may possibly be a burp to my mouth a little bit. She scared me. Apparently that was a very bad idea on my part, but there's a good chance this is going to happen. And if I don't do it with the official camera lens up there, we're going to run through the house with the phone. Or I tell you what I'm going to do. I don't know if my friend Dustin's still listening. He might have moved on. He doesn't need to know this. And I have 3 kids, 3 boys. I could patch in all of those guys, and I'm probably going to once a week do a show with my 3 guys. The only problem is the last time I let Connor and Caleb on the radio, I gave them each one time, and I can't tell you what they did, but they each said something bad. It was not good. It made me look bad as a parent. They were both around the age of 12. Connor went first, and he was previewing the Egg Bowl. And if you remember when I can tell you Connor's, can't tell you Caleb's. It was enough. I'm going to say what Caleb said. Connor's was Nick Fitzgerald had broken his ankle the year before. And my kid's young, he's 12, 11. You don't know any better. And I asked Connor his breakdown of the game. Hey, what do you think about the Egg Bowl? And my kid's comment was something to the effect of, hoped he didn't snap that ankle again. My heart fell to my stomach because this is radio. Like millions of people were listening. At least millions. That was not the proper thing to say. And people thought he got that from me, but that was my kid just being dumb. Gave it a couple of years, 2, 3 years. And I gave Caleb a shot at this, brought him in studio 1059. And the reason I did this because, Matt Wyatt does this with his kids sometimes, or his wife, but his wife is a TV person. Like she's very good with cameras. She's a very good speaker. And, what in the world? Hey, Jason, she would say that, man. She would probably, she probably told you to, did she text or put something on Facebook that I'd be better off doing this in the dark? Is that what you're telling me? But anyway, I let Caleb come in like 3 years later after Connor did it. And Caleb one-upped Connor with a real cringe comment that I can't even say what he said. It was not a good look for Dad. So I'm going to have to think through this. There's a chance, though, I'm going to do something once a week with all 3 of the boys. Plus, it gives me a chance as a dad to talk to all of them. I mean, we don't get a whole lot of time to do that. Connor's at Jacksonville State, Caleb's at Colin, and Cameron's here at the house. So selfishly, it lets me get some time with the kids. Dustin, I'm going to make you a promise. We're going to do this. Y'all don't know my boy Dustin, but I'm thinking about introducing him to the world here. He's pretty hardcore, man. Like Dustin goes hard. So there is the chance that we do that. But when I do, and the masses start reaching out to you and wearing you out, just remember that I warned you. Just remember, and then you'll get comments, and you act like it doesn't, but these people, they're ruthless, man. They'll hurt your feelings. Like they'll say some rough stuff. I'm surprised I hadn't gotten anything already, but people are pretty used to me. I mean, I've been cut down enough to where there's not much left. And not much left. But at the beginning, it was not pretty. All right, I think we're done with scores. I could do this all night, but look, we gotta watch some boxing. Okay, if you listen tonight, I appreciate it. We'll start doing this every week. I'll do a preview show next week of the state championship games coming up for the academies. And we'll do, I'm thinking about even using some professional graphics and that kind of thing. They tell me that's a better idea. No, Dustin, this is happening. No, you tell her, I almost said her name, but don't want to do that because some people don't like their name said on here. This is happening, buddy. So prepare yourself, dude. Like get your content ready and get ready because this is happening. But see, hey, look what you did. You made me lose my train of thought. We'll start doing this every week with some real graphics, with some other stuff that I've got in the works. And I enjoy doing this. But I'll probably do a green screen next time. Like doing that because I can basically, you can be on a beach or in the mountains or something like that. We can work on the backdrop. What's best? Des, I don't know what happened to Real C. I think he backed out on me. I'm not happy about that. I'll call him tomorrow though. All right, let's get out of here. Look, appreciate you guys. This is Chris Brooks. I almost said ESPN Radio, but this is not ESPN Radio. I don't know where that came from. But anyway, appreciate you tuning in. Thanks to all the sponsors. And Dustin, get your butt ready, man.